Welcome back to the next episode. Today we're going to talk about quick breads and the quick bread method. What is it? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. You're going to make something fairly quick. You're going to have all your mise en place ready. Everybody goes in the pool, takes a little swim, toss around, and then you're ready to do your makeup and production. So right now I've got the flour already measured. This is just all-purpose flour that I have. And I have salt and sugar I've already scaled off. We're going to add that, sprinkle that around, and some baking powder. You'll be able to find this recipe online. And then the recipes normally tell you in the book that you want to cut the butter into cubes, and then you're going to actually cut the flour in with your hands, cutting the butter until you get into small walnut-sized pieces prior to adding your liquid. Well, I saw this really cool trick. I don't remember where I saw it, but I thought, man, that's brilliant. So what I did is I took the butter that's in the recipe and I stuck it in the freezer. I froze it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grate it into my flour. And what this does, it keeps the butter firm so that if you're using your hands, the warmth of your hands won't melt the butter. And just also makes for a really nice biscuit, and you don't have to over mix it because it's cut down kind of small. Just rock and roll with it. I apologize for not having this previously grated, but I wanted you to see this since we are doing everything old school for our videos so you can cook at home, feed your family. Don't know if you have any friends coming over to see you or not, but they're just missing out. So quick bread, everything in the pool. Once I have this added, I'm just going to do a real quick pull together mix on it, just to blend all the baking powder, salt, sugar, and the butter together. This is the part where you have to be careful, otherwise you lose your knuckles, and that's not good. Sure, it doesn't feel good. I've done it before in a long time, but it's not real pleasant. So if you're looking at this camera right here, you're looking at it and you go, holy cow, that is a mound of butter. Well, that's where you get your goodness from, the butter. So you say, well, gee, Chef, what if I don't have butter? I can't get to the store and get butter. Well, do you have any Crisco shortening or a solid vegetable shortening that comes in a can? Sometimes they package them a little bit different. They have them in little foil packages now, like cream cheese comes. You can certainly do that as well. So I've got my butter incorporated. I'm going to wipe my hand here and give this a quick stir. Again, I did wash my hands before I started with the sanitize the table, make sure everything was good to go. Okay. They also make pastry cutters. It has a handle and it has 3 or 4 wires that curve around. They look like little blades. You can use those to cut butter in. Just another piece of equipment you have to wash and put in your junk drawer, and who knows when in the world you're going to use it. So I think this grating technique is going to be really cool. You're going to dig it. So we'll just stir this around. Get that butter to stay separated. Make sure my salt and sugar get cut in. I just really like this method. So that's it, easy peasy. I didn't have to get my hands all dirty and cut up in there. I've still got some butter on my hands. And now I'm going to add the milk. Recipe calls for milk. That's what I had. You could use buttermilk. If you just had milk, you could add an acid to it and make your own buttermilk for the flavor profile. I wish I had it because I'll be eating these biscuits. But for the point of this demo, we're just going to go with milk as our wet ingredient. Milk here. Add all that at once. You always want to add everything. You don't want to go bits and pieces. You just want to get this mixed as quickly as you can. Now, when making a biscuit dough, I find what makes a really good dough is if you have it nice and moist, nice and hydrated. If it's too dry, your biscuit turns out super dry, and I just don't like it. I like a nice soft buttery biscuit myself. So looking at this, you can see it's kind of shaggy, right? Got a couple of butter pieces in there, but if I squeeze it, it'll come together when I need it. I still got some flour in the bottom. So at this point, I'm going to take a little bit more milk because I want it to be a little bit whiter. Look for that stuff down the bottom there. Give it a little Scooby-Doo of milk. Okay. Stir that around. And at this point, I'm going to have to go ahead and go in and use my hands, which is cool. It's awesome. So I'll move this out of the way. And I should have a little dusting flour on here, but I don't. So we're going to roll with it. Roll with it, roll with it, roll with it. Get all of our ingredients in there. Okay. Now, this is the part where we're going to start kneading the dough. We don't want to over knead it. We don't want that butter to start melting, and it'll change the texture of your biscuit. We just want to get it mixed until it comes together. Right. And I can feel the wet. I can feel some pieces of butter. Sure it doesn't fly off the table. And something that I've always done when I'm making a biscuit dough is I like to make sure that I keep it in a shape of a rectangle, so that way when it's ready for me to roll it out, then it's already in the shape I need for cutting. Okay. Another thing, what are we going to do as far as shaping this bad boy goes? Well, if you have biscuit cutters, you can certainly use a biscuit cutter. If you don't have a biscuit cutter, what else could you use? You could use a glass if you have a glass. You want to dip the glass in a little bit of extra flour, and then you can cut your biscuits out after we roll them out. So I had a couple of big chunks from the ones that I grated. I need to make sure those are popped out. Okay, let's get all this extra out. Okay, get my bench scraper. Hiding over here, so I'm just going to give a nice, easy sweep. You're going to use your bowl scraper to do this. Nice, easy sweep. Put that in there. Okay. And that looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to leave it nice and fat. I've got it in my rectangle. We're not going to worry about loose odds and ends. And then, I'm going to cover it up. And we're going to let this rest for about 15 minutes to 20 minutes. And then we're going to roll it out. We're going to cut them. We're going to bake them and be happy, 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 happy. Okay, so let me go ahead and pause at this point, cover it up, let it rest, and I'll be back. And I had to put saran wrap over it. Close that. I have a sheet pan prepared, and I have used parchment paper. We just got a new stove. It's got a fan in it, so woohoo, aren't we special and lucky, but it's pretty awesome actually. We had our other stove for 25 years, so good for us. Hey, alright, so table's still a little sticky from where I mixed before, so I'm going to gently loosen the dough. And I'm going to move it over here, and I'm going to dust generously with a little bit of flour on the table. And all of a sudden my allergies have been going crazy since I started shooting this video. Also, I preheated the oven to 375 since it's a convection oven. Definitely don't want these to stick, it just makes a mess. Isn't that cool? We can do some fingerprint stuff. Merry Christmas. Put our dough back. And put that right there, like so. Got a rolling pin. This is my handy dandy rolling pin that I made from
Home Depot, I guess, or Lowe's. Put a little bit of flour on that, so it doesn't stick to the dough, since I told you originally that I like to make a wet dough. Alright. Now you may have thought, well, geez, Chef, why? Can I make those the night before and then put them in the refrigerator and bake them next morning so they're nice and fresh? Because right now it's 7 p.m. my time, 7:15. Answer is no. Number one, the dough will get gray, it'll turn gray, it'll look ugly. And then number two, what will happen is the baking powder is activated by moisture, so it won't have as good of a rise that you want, a nice big fluffy biscuit. Okay, so when I roll this out, I'm going to start center out, center back. What do I mean? I mean center of the dough and out, and I'm just applying very light pressure. I don't want to make the dough happy, so although it seems like I'm just going back and forth, when I get to the middle I press and release, pull, no pressure, pressure, release, no pressure, pressure, release. Okay? So we'll get that going. Okay, we'll go this way a little bit. Nice thing about these small rollers, they're more manageable than those gigantic ones we have at culinary. These are more precise, you get a better feel, you get to understand what the dough is like. Okay, and when you roll this out, if you kind of have a dip and you start to look like a dog bone, then you can take your rolling pin and you can move it over to different sections and just apply pressure where you want to move the center out so that you can keep everything nice and easy. Oh, even, sorry. It's late, tired. Alright, thickness wise, that's pretty good. That's about a good, a little more than 1/4 of an inch. So at this point, I do not have a biscuit cutter here, believe it or not, and I'm not going to use a glass. I'm going to make more like a cat's head biscuit that they serve in West Virginia. They're these huge, probably pound biscuits. And I'm just going to start by carefully separating the dough, a nice clean cut down. And then if I look at that, how many more can I get out of there? Well, we'll just cut it right down the middle. Cut 2 more there, right down the middle. Do these 2. We'll have a little bit of an irregular end, but that's okay. And then we're going to go ahead and place those on our baking tray. And you'll want to leave a little room in between them to bake and puff up and rise. Or if you don't like to have a crunchy edge around your biscuit, you want to, when you take them off, you want it to be nice and soft and flaky, but moist. Then you can put them real close together. Won't hurt anything if they bake together. Okay. All right. At this point, my oven's ready. I hear the timer going off, so these are going to go right into the oven, and I'll have them in for about 18 to 22 minutes. Haven't baked in this oven yet, so it may be faster, maybe a little slower. We'll see. Hopefully I don't burn them up. All right, I'll be back. Because I am the video production crew. So let's have a look. A lot of it, little steam come out. Woo! The kid blew off. Alright, so they're nice and golden brown. Nice and flaky. They kind of look like scones, or even a little drier than I would have liked. But, hey, they'll do. I had this nice little piece of butter I had saved that I cut for some of the other projects. I'm going to give it just a little bit of love, like it's Bojangles. Which, by the way, Bojangles uses shortening in their biscuits. They say they don't, but I call BS on that. I hope it's sitting too close. Oh boy, there's it looking good. Good. I think I'll be having biscuits and jelly for a snack while I'm watching TV. It's 7:41 p.m. I have been at this, not just this, but my other videos, since around 1 o'clock today, so almost within my norm. Okay, parting thoughts. Biscuits came out very nice. That method of freezing the butter and then shaving it in works out really good to distribute it evenly. And because the butter's frozen, it doesn't melt so quickly. Well, You know, I would be doing a disservice to you if I didn't have a little bit of Concord grape jammis. This is the way I eat biscuits anyway. I don't spread it on them. I have to use a spoon. I'm kind of goofy like that. So let's do it. That's going to be crispy good. Oh. I don't know if you can hear that crunch. Well, I was only going to try one bite because I just had dinner not too long ago. Plum in there. And Bojangles has nothing on my biscuit making skills. Cheers to you. Stay safe. We'll see you on the next video. Now you gotta put your finger up. Gotta love milk.